Hey there, Tiffany Thomas with WealthyTiffany.com, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about what to do with our stimulus check from the government. I recently did a video on the government looking to send Americans a stimulus check of $1,000 because of what's going on in the economy. And it could be for $1,000 or possibly $1,200. And even more if you have children, they could add an extra $500. So we're not really sure what the exact amount will be, but for this video, we're just going to talk as if we receive a $1,000 check from the government. And I got some interesting comments on what people would be spending their money on if they received this check. So I thought it would be a good idea to share some different ideas on what you could spend the stimulus check on and not feel like it just went to waste. So if you guys are ready to dive in, click that like button and we're gonna get started. All right, you guys, let's talk about different ways that we could spend this money that will be coming in from the government. Now, the first thing that we could spend this money on is our essential expenses, because I'm sure a lot of you have been affected by the economy and what's going on right now in the world. And you may have lost your job or your hours may have been cut back. So you could already be behind on your basic expenses. So of course, the stimulus check could go toward those basic expenses like your rent or groceries. But here's what I would like you guys to do when you're thinking about spending on kind of basic expenses, your normal expenses. I actually want you to look and see what all of those expenses are. And I'm sure they've changed over the past little bit because of what's happening in the world. But a resource that I like to use is Personal Capital, and there's also a website called Mint.com. But these websites just give you a quick way to hook all of your financial accounts to their website or the app that they have, and you can see your financial situation very quickly. So you can hook all of your credit card accounts, your mortgage account, your 401k, all different things that you are spending money on or that you are keeping in savings. You can also hook your checking and savings account to this. And once you have all of your financial institutions hooked to Personal Capital or Mint.com, then you can get a better picture of what you are actually spending money on. And you can see how much you really have in your savings accounts and checking accounts. And that way you can determine, okay, is this really what I want to be spending my money on? Or are there things in my budget that I don't really need to be spending my money on? And you can start to really focus your spending on your priorities, what you really value. And I feel like, especially during this time, we are cutting back and really focusing on those basic expenses, those needs that we really have. So I feel like this is a great learning opportunity for us right now. And we can see, I don't really need to go out to eat every day, or I don't need to go shopping and spend money on clothes all the time. Whatever it is that you might have been spending a lot of money on, you can kind of see you probably don't need to be spending all that money. And once you have that financial picture, then you can start to say, okay, yeah, I really need to be putting my money here and not so much over here. And this probably helps you determine, maybe I shouldn't be paying that much in rent, or maybe my car payment is too high. There's different things you're probably thinking about like that right now because of the certain circumstances. And I really want you to apply that moving forward and realize, no, you don't need to go out to eat every day. And really start to focus on what brings you happiness or what brings you joy or what's really important, instead of just swiping that credit card and spending money whenever and wherever. And I know when I've done this before, I used to spend a lot of money on clothes and shoes, and it wasn't really bringing me happiness. It wasn't a real priority for me. I kind of just did it because my friends were going shopping, or I thought, oh, I just want something new to wear on this date. And I would have a ton of clothes and I wouldn't even wear a lot of them. So once I started to really be conscious about what I was spending my money on and what my money goals were, I really cut back on spending money on clothes. I actually saved up a down payment for a property. Once you take a good look at your financial situation, you can really start to focus on what's really important to you instead of keeping up with the Joneses or going shopping with your friends all the time. All right, and if you do feel comfortable with your basic expenses and you've taken a look at your budget, your spending plan, and you've decided, what you really want to be spending your money on, you're really prioritizing that, then the next thing that we can move to is making sure you have an emergency fund or access to cash very easily. And this is extremely important right now because of what's going on in the world. A lot of people don't have an emergency fund. And if they do, then they're depleting that emergency fund right now. So it's really important to have that emergency fund so that you have that buffer for situations like this. And people recommend having 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in your emergency fund. I really think that depends on you and your personality, what you feel comfortable with. You want to be able to sleep at night. So you can probably see in the situation that we are in now how important this is, and you can kind of get a feel for, yeah, I really need to have 3 months worth of expenses in an emergency fund, or maybe I need 6 months or even a year. It really depends on you, but you have to feel comfortable with that. So determine what that amount is and make sure you have that amount in your emergency fund. And if it is $1,000, then great, you can put this check directly into an emergency fund. And I would recommend keeping that emergency fund in an online bank. Online banks are going to pay a higher interest rate than your standard brick and mortar bank. And while those rates are going down right now, they are still going to be higher with an online bank than just your traditional brick and mortar bank. And it makes it more difficult for you to pull that money out because you won't be using the same bank that you would normally be using for your standard checking account that you could easily pull money out of. And you would actually have to transfer that money to a different bank and then pull it out. So make sure and get your emergency fund set up and put that in an online savings account to keep it safe and build a little bit of interest. All right, the third thing that we could spend our stimulus check on is paying down our debts, and especially our high interest debts. This would be anything over 8% because on average, the stock market returns 8%. And of course, we've seen that take a huge dip, but it always comes back up. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But with debts, you want to make sure that you're paying down your high interest debts as quickly as possible. So when something unexpected does come up in the world, we can be prepared and we don't have to worry about having this debt hanging over our heads and thinking, oh, I can't even meet my basic expenses, let alone pay off my debts. So the quicker we can pay off those debts, the better off we are going to be and feel, because we'll be able to sleep easier at night, not having that debt hang over our head. And this leads us into the fourth thing that we could spend our stimulus check on, and that's investing our money, making our money work for us instead of us always having to work for our money. As we can see right now, a lot of us aren't able to work for our money. So if we have investments that are making us money, then we don't have to be as worried. And yes, the stock market has taken a huge dip, but that just means it's a good time to invest because, as I've mentioned in a lot of my videos before, we know that the stock market will come back up. We just aren't sure when, so we don't want to be investing money that we are going to need right away. We want to invest our money that can work for us over time. We can leave it in there over the long term and not worry so much about when the stock market does crash or it does take a dip, because it will come back up eventually. So if we are prepared financially, if we have our finances in order, we have our emergency fund, we have our debts paid off, and we have our expenses covered, then we're able to take advantage of this stock market dip right now and buy stocks while they are on sale. And then we can watch that rise over time. And if you do have money to invest right now that you're not going to be needing in the short term, if you do know of a company that you want to invest in, that you want to buy their stock, you can do that now because it's a really good time because the market is so low. But if you aren't sure, then I have another investment that could be really easy for you and a lot less scary. You can buy an index fund or even an ETF, an exchange traded fund. And I have another video explaining the differences between these two and mutual funds. So I will leave a link in the description for that video and you can check it out. But if you just want to take advantage of the stock market being on sale, one easy investment that I really like is the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. And that is trading for about $113 right now. So it has come down in price quite a bit over the past little while. And that's all you would need to get invested. So if you wanted to put maybe $500 toward your emergency fund, if that's not fully funded right now, and then spend $500 investing, you could totally do that. This investment is really great because it has a really low expense ratio. It's 0.03%. So you're paying hardly anything to invest in this ETF. And yet you can make really good returns because it follows the total stock market. And you don't have to worry about having all of your money invested in just one company and that company going bankrupt. You have it invested in a whole bunch of different companies, everything that's on the US stock market. And this fund adjusts over time as new companies come up and other companies go out. So it's a really easy investment to get into. It's very low cost, and you can just continue to invest in this ETF over time and make your investing really simple. So those are 4 ways that you could invest this stimulus check that should be coming to us soon. So if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information. And make sure and hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That will really help me out and we can get this content out to more people. Don't forget to hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. And if you guys are interested in getting 2 free stocks right now, Webull is doing a promotion where if you open a free brokerage account with them, they'll give you 1 free stock. And if you deposit at least $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,400. And then you can do whatever you want with your $100 and your 2 free stocks. I will leave my referral link below and you can click on that to get your 2 free stocks. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.